there's been an abundance of things this year that is done, and it makes a world of difference. We've seen people walking into our services that don't come to our church normally. This Christmas, we had at least, I would say, 10 or 12 people that don't normally come to any of our services have come in and heard the gospel for the first time for most of them. And that's been incredible, because we did an outside service and we did the carols by candlelight, and people come to those sort of events. And I think we need to learn from that. Maybe at Easter we ought to do another outside event that's really simple. You know, we get to a point where we think we've got to do everything like we did the 50th anniversary. That takes a lot of organising, a lot of work, but we don't. We can do smaller events that are just as successful. Carols on the doorstep, as it were, was quite easy to do. I won't say it was quite easy to do compared to other things. We can get things together and do it quite easily. You know, offering people hot chocolate as they walk past, what's difficult about that? You know, come Easter, why can't we offer hot cross buns or something as people walk past? We have opportunities, and I think throughout this last year, if anything, God has shown me that we've got opportunities. There's been one or two things going on, and it's not that I want to embarrass you, is it? But Izzy was part of our fellowship. And as much as she moves away and the rest of them move away, they're still family here. This is where they grew up. And so they still belong as part of our family. And it was great news to hear that you were getting married and that you got a first and everything else. That was fantastic news, and I thank God for that. And there's Katie and Jess and everybody else and Joseph, all part of our family. And we still pray for them. You know, they grew up here and they've moved on, but God's going to use them elsewhere. You know, the time here has probably finished, but their future, because of the grounding that they got while they were here, moves them on. And that's something we can be thankful for. You know, we can be thankful for the people that have been through this place. And we've seen that this last year as we celebrated our 50th year. And people came back to preach here that have gone on from here into ministry. And when we started looking at the numbers, it was incredible. The number of people that have gone from this church into ministry. I also think of all the people that have gone home to be with the Lord. And that's incredible. The number of people that have gone from here and gone back to be with the Lord. And we have a fantastic family. We're not always in agreement. And we've had our times this year when we've not been in agreement with everybody else. And that's fine. That's what family's about. We are family after all. And if you agree with your family all the time, then it's a miracle. We all have different opinions about things. And we can all sit down and discuss our different opinions. And I think that's what's been good about our family. We can give people time to have time out. We can encourage people to come when they're feeling down. We can sit and work with people that need us to work with them. And for me, that's been a great thing this last year. I've had the opportunity of doing a lot of one-to-ones this last year. And it's been really fantastic. Sitting down with people and just helping them out. It's been great. And God has blessed this church this last year so much. Some of it we don't even see. But the blessings have been coming and coming and coming. And sometimes people don't want to talk about it and they just let somebody else know. But the blessings that God has given us have been fantastic this last year. And we've just had some examples of what God has done this last year. We had Megan's 30th birthday party. And that was a real blessing. You know, there are things that God blesses us with and we don't recognize it. I was really blessed at Megan's birthday party, watching all those dancers, Megan's friends dancing, and that was a real blessing. You know, we've had opportunities to pray for people. We now do Sunday night service, Tuesday night service, Wednesday morning prayer meeting, Friday night service. You know, things are happening. And I'm not talking about numbers or great numbers, but people are coming to those services because there's a need. And so, let's look forward and be encouraged. Because God has got something special going on at this place. Something special, and He's using you for it. You might sit there thinking, I don't know what God is doing with me. I'm not doing anything else other than I've always done. But you might be the one person that's encouraging somebody else to do something else. I always used to have a couple, and I've shared this with you before, when I was in Wrexham. And every time I walked into the church, they just gave me a hug. That's all they did. They just came up to me and gave me a hug. And one day they said to me, we'd love to do what you do, John. And I just turned around and said to them, but without what you do for me, I couldn't do what I do. And all they were there doing was just giving me a hug every week. And when I was feeling down, when I walked into that church, that couple always came straight to me, both of them together, and they just held me and prayed for me. And that's what we do as a church. It's amazing what people can do without knowing it. They didn't know until they said to me, we'd love to do what you do, John. But without them, I could never have done what I did. And so don't ever run yourself down. I can't do anything. I've done my bit. I'm now just going to sit down and relax. You have never done your bit. We're always working until the day He calls us home. Whatever that is, it may be that you're the one that hugs somebody or just goes up to them and says something to them on a regular basis. And that can be such an encouragement to other people. So, we are family, and we need to remember we are family. And sharing is part of being family. Whether we share individually or share openly at the front. But we need to learn to share more and more, because it's in sharing that we move forward. I can come and stand at the front here, and I can preach for months on end or hours on end, and it doesn't have the same effect as somebody coming and standing here for 2 minutes and saying, God's done this for me. That has more effect than anybody standing here preaching and teaching. God's done this for me. Because when we know God's working with others, we get excited. And that's what it's about. Let's sing.